Hello, Internet. It's been 3 years since I made a video talking about the games that I played over the course of a year. Back in 2012, I announced that I was pregnant and I didn't know if I would be making any more videos like that one because of how busy I would be with the baby. She is now 2.5 years old. And thankfully, I am at a point where I can and I want to play video games. So I'm going to talk to you about the few video games I got to play this year, even though most of them are actually games I've already played before, and I've even talked about them on this channel in previous years. So let's get started, shall we? Final Fantasy X HD Remaster was the first game that I played in full this year. I played it on the PlayStation 3. It includes the international version, which had never been released in the United States before. So this game and I have a little history together. I would start the game and I wouldn't finish. I would barely start. I would play like, shoot, I don't even know. But I'd start it and then I'd give up, and then later on it started again, and I gave up. I don't remember if that happened a third time, but eventually I played it to completion in 2011. And in the video on this channel called My Gaming in 2011, I talk about finally getting around to beating this game. Back then I said I didn't really like Tidus, who is the main character, and I didn't like some of the character designs. And that's still true. I did appreciate it more the second time around. I guess just being familiar helped. For the story, I thought it was a little weird and confusing to have Tidus turn out to be a dream. I did like that the party was challenged with having to decide to fight the establishment that they had been a part of for so long, especially Yuna, and then moving forward after that point. I liked returning to gameplay. It was something that I knew. I liked being able to see the order that the characters were going to do things and how my actions were going to change that order. I played around a lot more in this game. I maxed out almost all my stats. I played the monster arena. I still only got 4 out of the 7 celestial weapons. I still didn't play enough blitzball to get Wakas. I still didn't even bother with a lot of the chocobo things that you have to do to get Tidus's. And I still didn't really bother with jumping to avoid lightning for Lulu's. For the summons, I like the Bahamut summon in this game. I think it looks really cool. And Bahamut is one of my favorite summons, period, because it's a dragon, and I like dragons. I also used Yojimbo more. I barely used Yojimbo last time. But this time, I used him because he helped with the Dark Aeon. Alright, so after I played Final Fantasy X, I returned to Final Fantasy X-2, which I also talked about in 2011. And I'm going to tell you that compared to the last time I played it, not only did I appreciate this game more, I'm pretty sure I can name this as one of my favorite games of all time. I hesitate slightly because of a story I'm going to tell you in a bit. But let me tell you why I love this game the way I do. This game has 3 women as the main characters. They're your team, your playable characters. There's Yuna and Riku and Pain. I like all 3 of them. I love that I have a team of all women. I love that they are friends. I love that they're having a good time. I love the dress spheres, filling out all the skills. I love leveling up to 100. I love some of the accessories. Once you get to the really good ones, all the other ones don't really seem all that great. And in this version, they added something called the Creature Creator, which is where you can capture monsters and you can level them up and they can be members of your party. I mean, you can't directly control them, you can only just kind of encourage them and make sure they have skills that you want them to use. For a very long time, in my second playthrough of this game, my team was a chocobo, and Lucille and Elma, who are two women you meet in Final Fantasy X, who are chocobo knights. So I liked that. Then in the Creature Creator, there's also Almighty Shinra, who is my favorite. He's this demon form of Shinra that's taller and has wings and claws. And my friend Kiki pointed out that he kind of looked like he has a shared resemblance to Devil Jin in Tekken Blood Vengeance. Which, if you know me for any period of time, it's not long before you also know that I am a huge Devil Jin fan. He's my favorite character of all time. Anyway, I loved using Almighty Shinra. He also has some interesting or amusing quotes that I like. The way he says them, I really, they're evil, they're devious, and they're very arrogant. And Shinra himself is an arrogant character, even without being a demon. So, but, yes, there's a but. This game did things to my heart in trying to beat it and get the 100%. So I'm going to tell you that story. I'm going to record a separate session so that I can try and tell the story properly. The first time I played Final Fantasy X-2, I got 100%, but I didn't press X at the right time. So I had to beat the boss again. And then I saw the perfect ending. So this time around, I printed off a guide, which very well could have been the same guide. I printed off a guide. Not only did I print off a guide, I printed off a list of missable trophies because I wanted to platinum this game. Because after all, I received 100% before, so I figured it was doable. I played through the whole game and I got 99%. So I watched the good ending and I forgot what distinguishes it between a good and a perfect ending. So at first I thought I got the perfect ending, and then I realized no, I didn't. So I played through the game again, but this was my second playthrough and I wanted to check out the Creature Creator arena, which I love, as I was explaining earlier, and I got 100% on the Creature Creator arena. When you do that, you get an offer to watch the ending. At first I thought that meant like I could just skip to the ending of the game, but no, it's just its own little ending. You see Shinra, you see some monsters and they're talking and they mention Shinra, and then Shinra waves goodbye to you and thanks you for playing or something like that. So I watched that ending, and also during my second playthrough I found the 1% that I missed. So I go through and I beat the game, and I forgot to hit X, which you need if you want to see the good or perfect ending. So I fought the final boss again, and I remembered to press X this time. And I have my 100% for the story, and I have my 100% for the Creature Creator. So I watch the standard part of the ending, the good part of the ending, and then I don't get the perfect ending. It's been replaced by the Creature Creator ending. Which means that if I wanted to get the 100% and see the perfect ending, I would have to play the whole game all over again with none of my new game plus bonuses or perks that I had just poured many, many hours into getting. So I was really down and defeated about that. And when I say down, I don't mean like sad. It's sort of a creeping disappointment. It's just like, well, that was a waste, wasn't it? And I didn't bother trying. And like I was saying, if you get 100%, that doesn't mean you get a platinum trophy. I didn't do the Gunner's Gauntlet. You have to master that, which I didn't do. And you also have to play this other game that's not Final Fantasy X-2. I think it's called Last Mission, which I read about. And to be honest with you, it did not look like a game that I wanted to play, especially not for the sake of just earning a platinum trophy, and especially not with everything that I went through and laid to waste in trying to get the perfect ending for the second time of beating this game. Onwards. All right, let's talk about Kingdom Hearts 2. This was the HD version, the international version, so it had a lot of additions, such as optional boss fights for Organization 13 people from Chain of Memories, a dungeon called Cave of Remembrance, where at the end was a place where you could, at any time you wanted, fight more difficult versions of Organization 13 people, provided you had already beaten them in the game. There were some mushrooms that you could approach and do extra games or tasks for them, and there were some extra scenes. So because of how things went down with Final Fantasy X-2, I wasn't really up for completing everything. The first time I played Kingdom Hearts 2, I opted for completing the journal instead of playing on Proud mode. And this time around, I didn't do either. I was not up to it. I just didn't feel like it. So, but I did go and earn Final Form as fast as I could. And I played with that on the extra parts of the story that aren't necessary to actually beat the game. And I played a lot of that, so I had fun there. And the next game I played was Lost Odyssey, which is a Japanese role-playing game on the Xbox 360 created by Mistwalker, which is a team that has some notable former Square Enix employees that worked on the Final Fantasy games. It has really good word of mouth from people at the NeoGAF forums, so I eventually went and checked it out this year finally, and it's every bit as good as everyone said it was. The story deals with immortality and then mortality. There are 5 immortal characters, 4 of whom can be in your party, and they can learn skills from the mortals in your party or from accessories. So they're pretty neat. It looks great, it plays great, good graphics, good game, good story. It's everything that I want in a JRPG, except maybe a character that I'm just completely in love with. But I do like the characters, even if I'm not like really in love with the characters. So I would definitely pass the recommendations along if you're looking for a good JRPG for the Xbox 360. Alright, it's time to rank the games because people like to read lists, people like to watch lists, people like to make lists, and I am no exception to this rule. So this list is subject to change at a later date, but this is basically what my gut is going with at the end of the year this year. Alright, so here we go. Number 4, Final Fantasy X HD International. Number 3, Lost Odyssey. Number 2, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix HD. Number 1, Final Fantasy X-2 HD International. So I really enjoyed all of these games. They're all great games. I really liked Final Fantasy X and X-2 a lot more the second time around I played them compared to the first time. So it was a lot of fun, and I hope to have some more fun playing games for the following year. And thank you for taking the time to listen and or watch this video. Bye!